Alright, I'm about to say a crazy word that you guys can't cancel me or get upset with me for. The word that I will be using consistently throughout this video is job. I am sorry for saying it. I understand it can trigger a lot of people. The J word is a very sensitive topic, but it is integral to the story I have to tell in this video. Today I will be talking about my favorite job ever. The job literally lasted 2 weeks, but I don't think I've had a happier 2 weeks in my entire life. So I worked a haunted house. Now, depending on where you're from, you might not know what that really means. Some of you, and probably I hope most of you are like, what do you mean? Of course I know what a haunted house is. But I was hanging out with my friend. His name's... actually, I'm not going to drop his name because I didn't ask. My friend, we're going to call him Billy Bob. Billy Bob's a Ukrainian immigrant. Billy Bob is from Ukraine. And Billy Bob had no clue what a haunted house was. I was trying to tell him about, the turmoils, tales, and stories of working at a haunted house. And he was like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And it is currently June, or we had this conversation in May, but it is currently June, so we're a few ways away from, it being haunted house season. Anyways, best 2 weeks of my life, that's for sure. This job started, the first person I met, his name was Jason. I've never met a happier person in my life. He was a big dude, and guess who he dressed up as at this haunted house? Jason. Of course he dressed up as Jason Voorhees. Who else would he dress up as? He dressed up as Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th Part 4, and it was so cool. It was so fun. He was a great dude. Now, the next person I met, her name was Marissa, and she was a body contortionist. She was trying to teach some of us how to do body contortion work as well, so we could make it scarier. But her whole thing, she'd, walk on her hands and do weird shit and scare little kids by, contorting the hell out of her body. The next guy I met was the whole lighting crew. Now, what made this haunted house special and, the scariest place on earth is the intense lighting. You had to sign a lot of, epileptic paperwork to even go through the thing. So just imagine the amount of bullshit I had to sign promising them I won't sue if I have a seizure while working there, because there is an absurd amount of lights. There were times where I'm like, I am in a significant amount of head pain right now, and I'm screaming at teenagers, and this is not fun. But when you weren't having a seizure, it was really, really, really fun. If there's anything that I'm good at, it is scaring the shit out of people. I find great joy and great passion in jump scares, in catching people off guard, stuff like that. Some people hate it. I've made people very upset with my innate ability to scare the shit out of people. But I've also made a lot of people giggle, jump, cry, laugh, all the things. I made a person piss themselves a little bit once. That was awesome. Her name was Olivia. I'm sorry, Olivia. I know you're out there somewhere. Definitely not watching / listening to this. But, Olivia, I'm sorry. Anywho, back to the haunted house. Now, my favorite story from the haunted house is my first 3 days there. It is very, very early in me working there. I get approached by a child saying he can't find his parents. And I'm not necessarily immediately sure on what I should do in this situation. Now, my thing was kind of like a zombie vibe. I would just kind of slowly hobble, drag my legs, make weird noises, say brains every once in a while, maybe, fall out of a closet and, scare the shit out of somebody. That was my favorite. I would go into a closet that was there, and I would just, bumble fall out the second I heard someone enter the room. It was great. So I'm just in full zombie character. I'm a thespian, alright? I love theater. I did theater in high school. I've done it a little bit in college. I love theater. It's great. That's not everybody's cup of tea, I understand. Regardless, I'm a man of staying in character. I'm a man of principle. So when fucking 7-year-old Timmy goes, I can't find my mom, I don't give a fuck, bro. I'll eat your ass. That was crazy. Pause. Wait. I'll eat you, your brains. I'll zombie you the fuck up, little boy. I'm so sorry. What the fuck am I saying? Anywho, so this little boy, I can't find my mom. Initially, I don't even respond to him. I'm like, I'm gonna act like I didn't hear you. I'm on the clock right now, and my job is eat brains, so unless you want your brains eaten, get the fuck away from me, kid. Inevitably, he asked me again, even tapping on the back of my knee. So I was like, alright, kid, let's go find your parents. What's your name? He gives me his name. I tell him mine, and he's like, are you going to eat me? I think he was doing it to lighten the mood. The kid seemed pretty mature for his age, but I didn't know how to answer that. When a little boy, as a grown man, when a little boy asks you, are you going to eat me? You are instantly faced with a singular decision with two very different options. Option one, no, of course not, man. I'm just in character. I'm just getting paid to do this. It's just fun. And option B is the fun option. Option B is what I went with. I put my hand on the kid's shoulder. And I went, the second we find your parents, I'm eating you. Now, was that absolutely the wrong choice? Yes, don't tell little children you're going to eat them. That was my bad, not the coolest call. But he seemed chill. It was okay. He didn't get upset by this. He found it a little funny even. He kind of giggled. So it was okay. Little Timmy was chill with this, alright? His name wasn't actually Timmy, I promise. But yeah, I highly recommend don't tell children that you're going to fucking eat them. That's a no-go in my books, even though I did it. Sometimes you have to learn through trial and tribulation. Sometimes you fuck up. Sometimes you have to just learn your lesson and move on. That's probably the worst thing I did there. There were a couple of times where I, scared the shit out of people and that would, hit me. And I'd, get mad at them because, I don't know, I'm just like an employee here, man. I'm just doing my job. Don't fucking smack me. I didn't do nothing wrong. I mean, yeah, I scared the shit out of you. Yeah, I said I'm gonna, fucking suck the brains out of your head, but fucking you paid money for this, alright? You asked for me to say weird shit to you. Now, my second favorite story from working here, and I promise I know this video's a little long and filled with me rambling. I'm begged to tell. We know how these work. I'm gonna call this my favorite story. This is definitely my favorite story. One night, one of my coworkers had to call out, and he was a pretty integral part. I was just like a zombie. I was lucky just there. But he was the whole attraction of this room. It was this witch doctor room, and his whole thing was that he'd say these crazy things to people. He was just disgusting and pervy. He was very Rob Zombie-esque, very House of a Thousand Corpses-esque, and he was this psycho doctor, and it was great. But he had to call out one night. It was a night off thing. You're allowed to call a night off in the 2-week cycle. Chill, great. So someone had to take over his role of crazy psycho witch doctor. Guess who got handed the role of psycho guy? So that evening, I am having the night of my life. Because, you get a little cue card of what your character's about, so you can improv, maybe come up with a couple lines to use over and over and over again, and create your character. So when I was given the cue card for this character, there was some crazy stuff on this cue card that I probably can't say on YouTube, which led to me saying some obscene shit to people. The character was supposed to be a little... How do I say this without getting YouTube banned? I don't know what YouTube's okay with, so he swings on the left side of the plate, if that makes sense. I don't really know what YouTube's cool with me saying, so we're gonna say it like that. This witch doctor swang on the left side of the plate a little bit. That was the vibes of it. So the amount of insane things I've said to grown men with their families, these men that have spent years and years and years building a hardworking American dream family. They have 2 cars, maybe 3 if their, teenage son is old enough. They live in a nice suburban home. And now there's an 18-year-old boy saying he's gonna eat your ass. Bye!